So this is really, really nice to have you here, Ivan Reis, with us. So I'm going to start with a very general question. How did you go into the comics industry?
Oh,
Do you remember?
yeah, it was a long time ago. I think I had another option in my life. I always thought in working with comics, actually. So since I was a teenager, 14 years old, I started to look for opportunities in Brazilian company. And I started in a horror stories book in Block Editoras in Brazil. And I was 14 years old. And when I started, I never stopped. It's almost 33 years ago. So I had another option. It always was my passion, and I got it.
What do you like about superheroes comic books?
What I like is the energy it has. When I'm drawing, I have two different experiences with superheroes. One experience is reading superheroes. It's fun because you can create the stories on your mind. You can see the pages in movement. It's a fantasy. It's take you off the reality and allow you to imagine new worlds. Give time for yourself. And the other experience is drawing superheroes. It's another experience because I can feel more freedom with my movements, with the art. It's the art itself. So it's a pleasure in creating universe and characters. And let me think better in a better way to explain that. Actually, when I'm drawing, I have the freedom to create movements and create lines, and it's like myself in a page. So it's allow me to imagine whatever I want, and it's amazing when you have that opportunity.
Do you remember the first time that you got to draw a DC comic book?
I started drawing to DC was on a Vertigo book. It's Invisibles. Then I did some works for Marvel and other small companies. And I had the opportunity to work with Superman in Action Comics. I remember when I had the opportunity to draw it, 3 months before I started the book, I spent all my time drawing the Superman symbol in any paper I found, because I was so happy with that, because I grew up with Superman. Christopher Reeve and the movie, John Byrne in the comics. So that was amazing because Vertigo is a different universe. I consider DC for me was when I start Superman and Batman, Secret Files. Then I jumped to Action Comics. So come on, I started with Superman, so I was so happy.
But I had one question in mind, is that you were reading Superman also when you were younger, like you mentioned John Byrne. Is it easy to have access to comic books in Brazil?
Yes, I think it's the second biggest marketplace for superheroes in the world. We have companies and printing these superheroes comics since I was. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. So we have a big space for comics there. So it's easier to find whatever you want in Brazil.
Okay. So I first discovered you at the beginning of the New 52 when you were on the Geoff Johns Aquaman. And I think that's maybe at that point that people really noticed the blockbusters that you were drawing. How did you choose your projects at DC for all these years?
That's a good question, because I always thought, okay, let the life decide what will happen. I never thought too much about the project. What happened is, when I have a connection with a writer and I like to work with him, he only invite me, and I mean, because for me, the most important in a comic is the cooperation. It's work with friends. It's work with people. I feel good. It's not about exactly the project. It's not about exactly, okay, it's more important than the other. So that's not the question. The question is, I'm working with people I like. I'm working in a happy way, and I believe the reader, the fans, will notice that energy more than no matter how important is the story for the company. What the reader will see is, wow, that was made with happiness, and I feel that energy. That is the important. So I don't think too much about if the project is important, is big or small. I don't matter. For me, the important is I'm happy. The people I'm working, it's good. I feel good working with them because I'm so happy drawing. And when I say drawing, no matter if it's Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman, the important is I'm happy drawing them. So I'm happy drawing Superman as I was happy drawing Captain Carrot. I have the same energy for the both. So that's the point for me.
Okay, and but certainly maybe you have some characters that you like most than others, or not after this time. Do you have characters that you prefer from others?
Yeah, I like Captain Marvel, Shazam, the Shazam actually, and Martian Manhunter and Etrigan. These are my top three.
Okay.
Shazam,
Martian
Manhunter, and Etrigan. But if I should choose one character in all the markets, would be Conan. I love Conan as a character. Okay. Yeah, that is my number one.
Okay. Could you explain a little bit how you came to do your latest work at DC, which is Batman One Bad Day with you don't hear me? No. So could you explain us a little bit how you went to do this Batman One Bad Day Ra's al Ghul, which is a very, very strong story.
Yeah, the story is amazing. I was invited by Tom Taylor to do the book, and when I discovered that it would be a graphic novel, I immediately said yes, because that is my first graphic novel in DC. Okay. I never did one before, so I couldn't let this opportunity. And it was Batman and Ra's al Ghul, and the story it's important because there is a message there, and I try a different technique drawing it. Mm-hmm. I usually use only pencil. Here, I use pencil and ink wash to discover the black areas, and working with Danny Meek and Brad Anderson only up the level of the book, and that's it. I believe I couldn't let this opportunity because that was my first graphic novel, and Tom Taylor. Come on, it's Tom Taylor. He's an amazing writer, and I was so happy to be part of this.
And was it really different from your point of view of as an artist to draw like for the deadlines or for the pacing even? Because you was it really a different experience work from a working point of view, like for the pacing of the story, because you have to do a story in a short amount of pages, compared to an ongoing when you can tell it on many issues?
It was different because the level, the way you work your schedule changed, because you have 6 pages, but it's not like drawing 3 issues in a monthly book. So you have more time to think about the page, more time to search references. And when you are working in monthly base in comics with few pages, 20 pages per month, you need to think fast and make fast decisions to make it works. And in Brazil Go, I had the chance to stop, breathe, look for reference, work in my schedule, and you have more time and freedom for create the art.
And when you're drawing stories, are you also discussing with the writers about certain points of the story, or maybe you have to maybe sometimes you have to put new designs for costumes for heroes? Are you
No,
involved?
I usually let the writer decide what he want. I say my part is draw. What I do is when I feel comfortable to change a bit, only to make the storytelling works better, I do. I think that's my work. It's not only draw what he asked me for, but make this story make sense in a storytelling. And so I try understand the writer. I don't matter so much the way he writes, because I like to read, feel the story, and then decide how I'll work the storytelling. If I think I need to change something, I do it. Talking with the writer, of course. Okay, I say, oh, I need change here. You need change it a little bit. I think that won't work very well, so I'll work that way. But I'll talking with him. So, but I don't do it too much because I believe the writer has a reason to make some choice in his story. So, but I need to make my choice drawing it. So it's a collaboration work. The same happened with the inker and the colorist. The inker need to make some decisions and change something sometimes, because what I did in a pencil sometimes won't work with a brush or a pen. That's the same with the writer. So, but I feel free to change when I feel it needs.
When you feel. And what's still amazing is that you are still doing your pencils. You don't work digitally. You're always on paper.
Yeah, I draw direct on paper. Sometimes I use digital layouts. The thumbnails, I do it digitally.
Okay.
And then I work in a paper directly, or I print the prelim and make the half and layouts over these prelims, because I like the gestual. I like to feel the paper, to feel the pencil, and the sound of the pencil over the paper. It's amazing when you are working alone. I don't like to listen music or watching TV. I like to stay with the paper and alone.
Okay.
So when I'm working and I'm really concentrating on this, I can notice the sound of the pencil over the paper, and it's meditation. It's amazing to feel, and all the movement of the hands and the paper, and all the mess you do when you are drawing. So I tried to do something digitally when I was with a short deadlines, and I had that experience. For me, it's completely different. I didn't like so much because I'm old school in that way. So.
Yeah, and you've been doing so many works for DC Comics, and I think we can say that you are a blockbuster artist, clearly. And don't you have the don't you want to do some creator own work at some point?
I always thought if you was to leave DC for some reason, wouldn't be to do more superhero, because I am so happy drawing superheroes on DC, but it would be for working something different. But I never thought about that. But I have ideas. I want to do something, but I have patience to this. I believe in one moment that will happen. But if I'm leaving DC one day, it's not to do superhero. will be to do something different. Superhero is for DC.
Okay. And so what holds the future for you right now? Can you say a little bit what you're
I don't know I don't know what will happen in the future. I know what happened now. So I'm working in a book, the Teen Titans, the Beast World.
Beast World, the event, yeah.
And I have until the end of the year to
finish it.
To finish it. And I hadn't talked with my next steps. So that will happen maybe in November or December, because I need to rest a little bit because I'm so tired. And then I'll decide what will do my next step.
Okay, thank you very much,
welcome.
Ivan.